When the pack closed around Nadia Gates's isolated cabin, her grandmother's warning returned with chilling clarity: never trust a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yet the creatures outside were not hiding what they were. Golden eyes watched through the darkness while two orphaned wolf pups slept peacefully against Nadia's chest, one still wrapped in the bandage she had placed around its wound. At the front stood the alpha, staring through the glass. He had come prepared for blood, but what he saw inside made him hesitate. Chapter 1: The Unwanted Daughter. Millbrook seemed trapped beneath a permanent veil of gray. Mountains crowded the valley from every side, making the town feel smaller than it was, as though the world itself were pressing inward. Nadia Gates had spent all 23 years of her life there, and not once had Millbrook truly felt like home. "You're late again." Carol Cooper, Nadia's stepmother, didn't even look up from the expensive flowers she was arranging across the kitchen counter. "Sophie had to cover your shift at the diner, again." Nadia lowered her mud-stained backpack to the floor. She had just returned from another hike through the forest. I don't care where you were." Carol's voice remained smooth, but every word carried an edge. "Your sister has a life, Nadia. She has plans. She's marrying Earl Maxwell in 3 months. She doesn't have time to keep fixing your mistakes." "Your sister." Carol always said it that way. Never our daughters. Always your sister, as though Nadia were someone Carol had been forced to tolerate rather than raise. Sophie Gates entered the kitchen at that moment. Golden hair framed her flawless face, and the huge diamond on her engagement ring flashed beneath the lights. "It's fine, Mom," Sophie said with manufactured sweetness. "I'm sure Nadia had something very important to do. Right, Nadia?" The insult beneath the words was obvious. "You're pathetic. You're nothing. And all 3 of us know it." Nadia swallowed her anger. "I was checking the trails. There have been reports of..." "Of what?" Sophie laughed. "Bigfoot?" Her laughter was sharp enough to sting. "God, Nadia, are you still wasting time on that wildlife tracking nonsense? You graduated with a biology degree 2 years ago, and you're still working in a diner while pretending to be some wilderness ranger." Sophie tilted her head. "Don't you think it's time to grow up?" Carol nodded approvingly. "Sophie is right. Your father left you that cabin in the woods, and you've done absolutely nothing useful with it. Sell the place, take the money, build an actual life." She adjusted another flower. "But instead, you disappear into the forest every day because you think you're going to discover some mysterious species or save the wilderness from destruction." Nadia's jaw tightened. The cabin was the only thing her father had left specifically to her. It was the one piece of evidence she still possessed that James Gates had loved her. Her father had been a wildlife conservationist. He had spent years studying these mountains and chasing rumors that wolves still lived beyond the highest ridges. James had died when Nadia was 16. Within a year, Carol had remarried. That second husband had remained in their lives for 3 years before disappearing as well. Carol had never seemed particularly disturbed by the pattern. "I'm not selling the cabin," Nadia said quietly. "Of course you aren't." Carol turned back to the flowers, dismissing her with a glance. "You'll hold on to that rotting shack until the roof collapses on you, just like you cling to everything else that's already dead." Sophie smirked. "Speaking of dead things, did you hear about the deer they found near the North Trail? Completely torn apart. Earl thinks it was a bear, but some people are saying wolves." She let the word linger. Can you imagine wolves this close to town? Nadia's pulse accelerated. Wolves. Her father had spent most of his adult life trying to prove gray wolves still survived in these mountains. Official records claimed they had vanished from the region more than 50 years earlier. James Gates had refused to believe it. He had recorded distant howls, collected fur, photographed tracks, and spent countless nights alone in the wilderness, searching for proof. For the last 2 years, Nadia had quietly continued his work, and lately, she had begun to believe he had been right. "There are no wolves around Millbrook," Carol said firmly. "Earl is right. It was probably a bear, maybe feral dogs. Either way, it has nothing to do with us." It had everything to do with Nadia. She had already found paw prints far too large to belong to ordinary dogs. She had heard the howls echoing across the valleys late at night, low, mournful calls that stirred something inexplicable inside her chest. And 3 days earlier, she had discovered something impossible. A tuft of gray fur had been caught on a thorn bush beside one of the mountain trails. Near it was a single drop of blood. Under the moonlight, the blood had shimmered silver. Silver blood. Her father's hidden journal mentioned silver blood. James had recorded ancient legends once told by people who had inhabited these mountains long before Millbrook existed. Stories of shifters. Wolves capable of walking as men. Packs ruled by powerful alphas. Nadia had always considered those sections of his journal folklore. Her father had been a scientist, but he had also possessed a romantic imagination when it came to nature. Then Nadia saw the silver blood for herself. Real. Physical. Impossible to dismiss. "I'm going back to the cabin," Nadia said, lifting her backpack. "Of course you are," Carol replied. "Run away, Nadia, that's what you're best at." Sophie giggled. "Try not to get eaten by the big bad wolf." Nadia left without answering. The trip required a 30-minute drive, followed by 20 minutes on foot. Her father's cabin stood alone in a clearing surrounded by enormous pine trees, whose branches formed a dark canopy overhead. The building itself was modest, 2 rooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom, but it belonged to Nadia. Inside, her father's work still covered the walls. Maps marked with sightings, photographs of tracks, notes about wolf behavior, research on pack dynamics. Nadia dropped her backpack and approached the window. Darkness was beginning to settle across the forest. She often stayed overnight to check the wildlife cameras she had positioned along the trails, but something about this evening felt wrong. The atmosphere seemed charged. The birds had fallen silent. Even the wind appeared to have stopped. Nadia pulled her father's journal from the shelf and sat at the wooden table. She opened it to the final entry James Gates had written before his death. "They're real. I saw 3 tonight moving through the snow. Wolves, but not wolves. Larger, faster. Their eyes glowed gold in the darkness." Nadia continued reading words she already knew by heart. "I followed them, but they disappeared into the mountains. I understand what I've discovered now. I also understand the danger. If their pack realizes I know their secret, they will come for me." The final lines always hurt the most. "I have to protect Nadia. I have to make certain she never follows this path. This knowledge is a curse, not a gift." Nadia's hands trembled. Her father had known. He had discovered something in these mountains, and Nadia was increasingly certain that discovery had killed him. The official report claimed James suffered a heart attack while hiking. Nadia had never completely believed it. Her father had been healthy and strong. Someone, or something, had silenced him. And now Nadia was following the same trail. A faint noise outside made her freeze. A whimper, soft, weak. Desperate. Nadia reached for her flashlight and opened the cabin door. The clearing appeared empty. Then the whimper came again from the trees to the east. Every reasonable instinct told her to close the door, lock it, and wait for daylight. But the sound was too helpless to ignore. She stepped into the forest. The cries grew louder. Her flashlight cut through the darkness while branches brushed her arms. Fallen leaves and moss softened the ground beneath her boots. Cold air misted around her breath. Then she found them. 2 tiny wolf pups were hiding beneath a fallen log. They could not have been more than a few weeks old. Their fur was silver gray. Their eyes were barely open. One pup had a deep gash across its side, its fur dark and wet with blood. Nadia immediately knelt. The healthy pup attempted a tiny growl as she approached. The injured one merely stared at her with frightened eyes. "It's okay," Nadia whispered. "I'm not going to hurt you." She slowly lifted the wounded pup and pressed it carefully against her chest. Its body was frighteningly small. The second pup whined and pawed at her leg. "I'll take you too." Nadia gathered it into her other arm. I'll keep both of you safe. She had no idea where their mother was. She didn't know whether the pups had been abandoned, lost, or separated from their pack. But she refused to leave them in the forest to die. Back at the cabin, Nadia immediately gathered her medical supplies. She had treated injured wildlife before. She knew what to do. She placed the wounded pup on the table, examined the gash and cleaned it carefully. The injury was deep but showed no sign of infection. She disinfected it and wrapped fresh gauze around the pup's side. It whimpered but never fought her. When Nadia finished, she placed both pups together on the couch beneath a blanket. They immediately curled against one another. Exhaustion finally caught up with her. She sat beside them, wondering what she was supposed to do next. Wolves were protected wildlife. She could not simply keep them. Yet she also could not contact wildlife authorities if there was even a possibility that her father's journal was right. If these pups were shifters, Nadia studied their silver-gray fur and their strangely intelligent eyes. What am I supposed to do with you? The injured pup made a soft sound and pushed its tiny head against her hand. Tears stung Nadia's eyes. She was tired. Tired of being alone. Tired of being Carol's unwanted daughter. Tired of being Sophie's disappointment of a sister. Tired of being the strange girl who searched forests for ghosts. Nadia lay carefully across the couch. The pups immediately crawled onto her chest. Their small bodies were warm against her. Just tonight, she whispered. I'll decide what to do in the morning. Nadia closed her eyes. Soon, she was asleep with the two pups breathing softly above her heartbeat. She had no idea that golden eyes were already watching from deep within the forest. She had no idea the pack was coming. Chapter 2. The Search. The Alpha's rage felt almost alive. Gabriel Houston stood at the edge of a ravine beneath the rising moon, while fury burned through him. 15 members of his pack surrounded him in human form, their bodies tense and their golden eyes glowing. How long? His voice remained controlled, but no one missed the violence beneath it. Rodolfo Pineda, Gabriel's beta, stepped forward. A fresh scar crossed his jaw from the battle 3 nights earlier. 6 hours, Alpha. We searched the entire Northern Territory. There's no sign of them. Gabriel clenched both hands. 6 hours. His nephews had been missing for 6 hours. They were Tyler Cooley's sons. 3-week-old pups. Someone had taken them from the den while the pack was fighting rogues along the border. Tyler was dead. So was his mate, Alfreda Vega. Both had died defending the pack during the ambush. Gabriel had promised his brother that he would protect Tyler's sons, and he had already failed. The rogues? The question came through a growl. Gone, Rodolfo answered. 5 are dead. The rest crossed the eastern border. He hesitated. But they didn't have the pups. We found the den empty. There was no blood, no struggle. It looked as though someone simply carried them away. Gabriel's eyes flashed gold. Someone took them. His voice dropped. And when I find that person, I'll tear out their throat. Bob Edwards, the pack's tracker, emerged from the trees. Mud covered his face and his clothes were torn. Alpha, I found something. Gabriel crossed the distance before Bob finished speaking. What? Bob opened his palm. A small piece of worn blue fabric lay there. It carried the faint scent of lavender, and human. Gabriel's wolf snarled inside him. A human? The trail runs west toward Millbrook, Bob explained. Whoever carried them traveled on foot. They weren't trying to hide their path. Both pups were being carried. Then we follow. Gabriel's decision was immediate. We find this human and make them pay for touching what belongs to us. Rodolfo put a hand on Gabriel's shoulder. He was one of the few pack members who could do so without risking retaliation. Gabriel, if a human found the pups, they may not understand what they are. They could have seen 2 injured wolf pups and tried to help. We should approach carefully. Gabriel turned on him. Carefully? His eyes burned. Tyler and Alfreda are dead. Their sons have disappeared. And you want careful? I want you thinking like an alpha instead of a grieving uncle. Rodolfo didn't retreat. If we enter Millbrook and slaughter someone, human authorities will investigate. They may discover what we have spent centuries hiding. Gabriel's jaw tightened. Every instinct demanded that he shift and hunt. But Rodolfo was right. The pack survived because humans did not know they existed. One mistake could expose generations of secrecy. We stay human, Gabriel finally ordered. We follow the scent. We recover the pups. His gaze hardened. If someone has hurt them, he left the sentence unfinished. No one needed to hear the rest. The pack moved quickly through the forest. Gabriel led. Bob had been correct. The trail was easy. Whoever carried the pups had made no attempt to disguise their movement. Either the person was an amateur or had no idea anyone would follow. They covered miles rapidly. Near the western edge of pack territory, Gabriel caught the smell of smoke, then pine, lavender, and something strangely familiar. He stopped and raised one hand. Every pack member froze. "What?" Rodolfo whispered. Gabriel inhaled again. "I know that scent." "From where?" Memories returned. A funeral in Millbrook 2 years earlier. James Gates, a wildlife conservationist who had come dangerously close to proving the pack existed. Gabriel himself had issued the order. Make it look like a heart attack. Make it clean. Gabriel had attended the funeral in human form, watching from a distance. He remembered a young, dark-haired woman standing away from the crowd, grief hollowing her face. She had smelled of lavender and pine. James Gates's daughter. "The cabin," Gabriel said. "There's a cabin near the western boundary. It belonged to the conservationist we eliminated 2 years ago." Rodolfo stared at him. "His daughter? She uses it," Bob confirmed. "I've seen her on the trails. She sets wildlife cameras. She studies the area. She's harmless." "No human carrying shifter pups is harmless," Gabriel snapped, but doubt was already forming. If James Gates's daughter had inherited her father's interest in conservation, perhaps she had simply discovered 2 injured animals. Perhaps she had no idea what they were. That would make her unlucky rather than dangerous. 20 minutes later, the cabin appeared through the trees. One lamp glowed inside. Smoke rose quietly from the chimney. Gabriel approached while the pack spread out around the building. Every possible escape route was covered. He stepped onto the porch. Through the window, he could see maps, notebooks, and wildlife equipment. Then he saw the couch. Gabriel stopped breathing. Both pups were alive. They were sleeping on the chest of a young woman. The injured pup had been carefully bandaged. Both looked peaceful, safe. Their tiny bodies rose and fell with the woman's breathing. The wolf inside Gabriel, raging for blood moments earlier, suddenly became silent. The woman's dark hair spread across the pillow. Exhaustion softened her face. She looked as though she had used every remaining ounce of strength caring for his nephews before collapsing. More important than any of that was the way the pups slept on her. They trusted her completely. No vulnerable shifter pup would rest like that on someone it feared. Rodolfo moved beside Gabriel. "Alpha?" Gabriel didn't answer. "What are your orders?" Pack law was clear. Humans who discovered shifters were threats. Humans who handled shifter children were even more dangerous. The old laws demanded elimination, but this human had saved Tyler's sons. She had cleaned Cody's wound, bandaged him, kept Rex beside him, kept them warm. She had offered mercy when she could easily have walked away. "Alpha," Rodolfo pressed. "Everyone is waiting." Gabriel finally turned. "Hold the perimeter. Nobody enters." Rodolfo stared. "What?" "I said nobody enters." Alpha command filled Gabriel's voice. Rodolfo's mouth closed immediately. His wolf submitted before his human pride could argue. Gabriel looked through the window again. The injured pup whimpered in its sleep. Without waking, Nadia's hand moved automatically. Her fingers stroked the pup's head. It relaxed beneath her touch. Something inside Gabriel shifted. This woman had protected Tyler's sons when he had failed to do so, and pack law expected him to kill her for it. "We wait," Gabriel said. Rodolfo frowned. "For what?" "For her to wake. And then? We talk." Rodolfo looked at him as though Gabriel had lost his mind. "She's human. She saved my brother's sons. She has seen them. If she understood what they were, she would have run or called someone. She believes they're wolves. And when she learns the truth?" Gabriel's eyes glowed. "We deal with that afterward. I will not kill the person who kept my nephews alive without first understanding what happened." Rodolfo clearly wanted to protest. He didn't. "The pack won't like this. The pack will obey me." Gabriel's tone turned cold. "Put guards around the cabin. Nobody enters. Nobody leaves. Anyone who ignores that command answers directly to me." Rodolfo nodded and vanished into the shadows to relay the order. Gabriel remained outside. Inside, Nadia slept, completely unaware that wolves surrounded her home, unaware that her life depended on a decision being made on the other side of the glass. Eventually, her eyes fluttered open. She looked at the pups and smiled. Then she sensed something. Her head turned. She saw Gabriel standing outside the window. The smile disappeared. For several seconds, neither moved. Nadia slowly reached toward the table beside the couch. Her hand closed around a hunting knife. Her other arm tightened protectively around the pups. Gabriel raised an empty hand. Then he gestured toward the door. "Let me inside. We need to talk." Fear filled Nadia's face, but Gabriel saw something else there as well. Defiance. She was terrified of him, yet she was still prepared to defend those pups, with a small knife, against a predator she did not understand. Gabriel found himself respecting her for it. He opened the door slowly and entered. Every wolf outside tensed. Nadia jumped from the couch, letting Cody and Rex settle safely behind her. Her knife shook slightly in her grip. "Stay back." Her voice was steadier than Gabriel expected. "I don't know who you are, but you need to leave." Gabriel closed the door. "I'm not here to hurt you." "Then why are you here?" Nadia glanced toward the pups. "You came for them." Gabriel's expression remained unreadable. "They're my nephews." Nadia blinked. "Your what?" "My nephews. Their parents died 3 nights ago. The pups disappeared. I've been searching for them." "You're lying." Uncertainty entered her voice. "Wolves don't have nephews." For one brief second, Gabriel allowed his eyes to glow. "These aren't ordinary wolves, Nadia Gates. And somewhere inside you, I think you already know that." Her breath caught. "How do you know my name?" "I know your father was James Gates. I know what he spent his life searching for. I know you continued his work." Gabriel paused. "And I know what you discovered 3 days ago." The knife dipped. "Silver blood." "How?" "Because this is my territory. You have spent 2 years walking through my forests, placing cameras and collecting samples, getting closer to what your father died trying to prove." Nadia went pale. "My father died from a heart attack." "No." Gabriel stepped closer. "Your father was killed because he learned too much." Nadia stared at him. "And now you've learned too much too." Her voice fell to almost nothing. "What are you going to do?" Gabriel's golden eyes held hers. "Decide whether you live." Chapter 3. Between Mercy and Murder. Silence crushed the air inside the cabin. Nadia could hear her own heartbeat as Gabriel Houston stood before her with eyes no human should possess. Every impossible theory in her father's journal had suddenly become real. Shifters existed, and one of them had just told her he might kill her. "You killed my father." Her voice trembled, but rage was quickly replacing fear. "You murdered him because he discovered the truth." Gabriel didn't deny it. "I gave the order. My beta carried it out." Nadia stared at him. "It was quick," Gabriel continued. "Painless. More mercy than humans who expose our existence usually receive." "Mercy?" A broken laugh escaped her. You call murdering my father mercy? I call survival what it is. His voice remained cold. Your father was recording our movements. He had photographs, audio recordings, and DNA evidence. If that information reached the public, scientists, hunters, and governments would have flooded these mountains. Gabriel's expression hardened. My people would have been hunted, captured, or killed. I chose one life over hundreds. Tears burned behind Nadia's eyes. For 2 years, she had mourned her father while believing a lie. Now the person responsible was standing in front of her. And now you're going to kill me too? That depends. On what? Whether I can trust you. Nadia gave another bitter laugh. You murdered my father, and I'm supposed to prove that I can be trusted? Your father pursued knowledge that endangered my people. Gabriel glanced at the couch. You made another choice. You found my nephews wounded and alone. You could have abandoned them. You could have contacted wildlife authorities. His gaze returned to her. You didn't. You treated Cody's wound and protected them. They're babies. Nadia's voice cracked. What kind of monster would leave babies to die? The kind who wants to survive, Gabriel said quietly. The smart kind. I'm not that person. I know. For the first time, something in Gabriel's expression softened. That is why we are having this conversation, instead of me killing you. Nadia loosened her grip on the knife. What do you want? Gabriel crossed to the couch and knelt. The wounded pup stirred. When it recognized Gabriel, it made a happy sound and crawled toward him. Gabriel picked it up with astonishing gentleness. He examined Nadia's bandage. You treated this well. The wound is clean. He'll recover. I'm a biologist. I know how to treat injured animals. Gabriel looked at her. He isn't an animal. Nadia said nothing. Neither of them are. In several weeks they will shift into human form for the first time. They'll look like young boys. Until they can control the change, someone must care for them. Nadia stared at the pups. They're children? They're shifters. They were born as wolves, but they will spend most of their lives in human form. Gabriel stroked Cody's fur. Their parents died defending our pack from rogues. They are orphans now. Rex crawled toward Nadia and pawed at her leg. Without thinking, she lifted him. He buried his face against her neck. Why are you telling me any of this? Because I'm giving you a choice. What choice? I take the pups home. You forget what happened here. You stop your research, stop following wolf tracks, stop placing cameras, and stop looking for evidence. Gabriel's voice sharpened. You return to Millbrook and live as if my world doesn't exist. And if I refuse? His eyes flashed gold. Then I eliminate the threat. Nadia's stomach tightened. That isn't a choice. It's blackmail. It's reality. You're surrounded by creatures who could kill you in seconds. The only reason you are alive is because you protected these pups. His gaze grew colder. That protection has limits. Nadia looked at Rex. For 2 years she had wanted proof that her father had been right. Now she held that proof in her arms. And possessing it could cost her life. Or she could abandon everything her father had worked for. Then another possibility came to her. There's a third option. Gabriel lifted an eyebrow. You said they need someone to care for them until they can control their shifting. Nadia tightened her arms around Rex. Let me do it. Gabriel simply stared. You want to raise shifter pups? I want to help them. Their parents are dead. They already trust me. Rex had fallen asleep against her again. Nadia looked down at him. He feels safe here. He's an infant. He doesn't know better. Maybe, or maybe I'm the first person who made him feel safe after losing his parents. Nadia met Gabriel's eyes. I have medical training. I understand animal behavior. No one visits this cabin. I can help until Cody heals. Gabriel shook his head. You're human. If my pack discovers I left shifter children in human care, they may revolt. Then don't tell them. Gabriel stared at her. Let them stay here for a few weeks. Once Cody is strong enough, take them home. The pack doesn't need to know. Suspicion hardened Gabriel's face. And what do you receive in exchange? Why risk your life for beings you only learned existed tonight? Because my father dedicated his life to finding your kind. Nadia's voice sharpened. He believed you deserved protection, preservation. She held Gabriel's gaze. And you killed him. The words landed between them. I cannot bring him back, but I can honor him by doing what he would have done. She looked at the pups, keeping them alive. For a long time, Gabriel said nothing. Cody whimpered in his arms. Gabriel stroked him gently until he calmed. You do not understand what you're asking. Then explain it. If I allow this, you become connected to my pack. You come under my protection, but you also come under my authority. His eyes hardened. If you expose us, I will kill you. I understand. Do you? Gabriel stepped closer. I am not a good man, Nadia Gates. I have killed humans. I have destroyed lives. I make whatever decisions are necessary for my pack, and I sleep afterward. He lowered his voice. Enter this world and you will see things that haunt you. You will learn truths that change everything you believe about nature and humanity. I already know the worst truth. Nadia looked straight at him. I know you murdered my father, and I'm still offering to save your nephews. She paused. What does that tell you? A faint softness touched Gabriel's expression. That you're either extremely brave or extremely foolish. Maybe both. For the briefest moment, Gabriel almost smiled. Maybe. He opened the cabin door. Rodolfo appeared immediately. Alpha? Change of plans. Gabriel's voice carried absolute authority. Nadia will care for the pups temporarily. She is under my protection. Rodolfo's eyes widened. You can't be serious. She's human. She will follow my rules. Gabriel cut him off. Or she dies. Those are the terms. Tell the pack that anyone who harms Nadia Gates answers to me. Rodolfo's jaw tightened, but he bowed and left. Gabriel turned back toward Nadia. You have 2 weeks. Cody needs time to recover, and I need time to prevent my pack from tearing itself apart over this decision. His expression became severe. You do not leave this cabin without permission. You do not contact anyone in town. No photographs, no notes, no records of anything you see. Understood. Gabriel gently placed both pups beneath their blanket. Then he removed a leather cord from his pocket. A silver wolf head pendant hung from it. Wear this. He placed it in Nadia's palm. It carries my scent. Any shifter who encounters you will know you're protected by me. The metal felt oddly warm. What happens when the 2 weeks are over? That depends on whether you prove trustworthy. And if I don't? Gabriel let silence answer. Nadia put the necklace around her neck. I won't betray you. You had better not. Gabriel's voice turned lethal. Because if you do, your father's death will seem merciful by comparison. He walked toward the door. Tomorrow I'll send supplies. Food, formula, medical equipment, whatever you need. He paused. Do not leave. My wolves are watching. Wait. Gabriel looked back. What are their names? His eyes moved toward the couch. Grief surfaced across his face. The injured one is Cody. The other is Rex. His voice roughened. My brother named them the day they were born. He paused. 3 days before he died, protecting them. Then Gabriel disappeared into the darkness. Nadia stood alone. Cody and Rex. Orphans. Just like her. She sat beside them. Both pups immediately crawled toward her. Nadia wrapped her arms around their warm bodies. I won't let anything happen to you. She stroked their fur. I promise. Outside, Gabriel continued watching through the window. Rodolfo stepped beside him. You're making a mistake, the beta said quietly. Trusting any human is dangerous. Trusting the daughter of the man we killed is worse. Maybe. Gabriel watched Nadia cradle his nephews. Or maybe I'm finally making the right decision. And if she betrays us? Gabriel's eyes glowed. Then I eliminate the threat. But even while saying it, Gabriel knew something had changed. His wolf had reacted the moment he saw Nadia with the pups. It had recognized something he was not ready to understand, and that frightened Gabriel more than any rogue attack ever had. Chapter 4. When Monsters Show Their Hearts. The first 3 days tested Nadia more than she expected. Every morning, Cody and Rex woke beside her. Cody's injury improved rapidly. Shifter healing was considerably faster than the healing of ordinary wolves, but Nadia still monitored him carefully. Rex became completely attached to her. If Nadia walked, he followed. If she sat, he climbed into her lap. At night, both pups insisted on sleeping on her chest. Their warmth reminded Nadia of the impossible truth. She wasn't caring for animals. She was caring for children. Children who would eventually walk, speak, and remember that she had protected them when they had no one else. On the second morning, an enormous black wolf appeared outside. Nadia nearly reached for her knife until she saw the leather satchel hanging from its mouth. The wolf dropped the bag on the porch, watched her with amber eyes, and disappeared. Inside, Nadia found formula designed for shifter pups, medical supplies, dried meat, canned food, and a note written in hard, angular handwriting. Mix 1 scoop of formula with warm water 3 times a day. Keep Cody's bandage dry. Change it every 12 hours. If his temperature rises above 102 degrees, call the emergency number below. Don't make me regret this. G. Gabriel had even included a phone number. Nadia studied the note longer than necessary. He had anticipated everything. The pup's nutritional requirements, Cody's medical care, her emergencies. It was almost thoughtful. That somehow made Gabriel more difficult to understand. Monsters were supposed to be simple. Gabriel Houston was not. On the 4th morning, Nadia sat on the porch while Cody and Rex played in the clearing. Cody still favored his injured side. Rex repeatedly tried to drag him into rougher games. Nadia smiled. "You're good with them." She spun around, hand flying toward the knife at her waist. Gabriel stood near the trees. Dark jeans and a black shirt made his already intimidating frame seem larger. His eyes followed the pups. "How long have you been there?" "Long enough." Gabriel entered the clearing. Both pups immediately reacted. Rex raced toward him. Cody followed more carefully. Gabriel knelt. The feared alpha vanished from his expression. He lifted both pups and held them against his chest as they licked his face. "Hello, little warriors." His voice was unexpectedly gentle. "You're stronger." Nadia watched him. This was not Gabriel the alpha. This was Gabriel the uncle. The man who had lost his brother and was terrified of losing what remained. "They miss you," Nadia said. Gabriel glanced at her. "Every sound from the forest makes them think you're coming." His jaw tightened. "I can't visit as often as I want. The pack is restless." "They know the pups survived?" "Yes. They don't know where they are. Some believe I hid them for protection." He stopped. "And the others?" Gabriel looked at her. "They think I'm weak. That sentiment is affecting my judgment." "Is it?" "Yes." The admission was blunt. "My brother died 4 days ago. His mate died beside him. I should be hunting the rogues, strengthening our border and controlling the pack." He looked down at his nephews. "Instead, I'm here, wondering whether leaving them with a human is the worst decision I've ever made." Nadia descended from the porch. "They need you. They have the pack. The pack isn't their uncle." She pointed toward Cody and Rex, who were climbing over Gabriel. "They know you. They love you. Whatever else you are, you're the family they recognize." For 1 second, Gabriel's control fractured. Grief crossed his face. "I failed them." His voice turned rough. "I promised Tyler I would protect his family. Then I let him die. You didn't let him die. He chose to defend the pack." "That doesn't make his death your fault." Gabriel's eyes brightened gold. "I'm Alpha. Everything that happens to them is my responsibility. Every death, every injury. His throat tightened. Tyler was my little brother. Nadia moved closer. You cannot protect everyone every second. You aren't invincible. Gabriel stared at her. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? Nadia refused to look away. My father died because you decided he was dangerous. For 2 years I wondered whether I should have noticed something, whether I could somehow have saved him. Her voice softened. I know guilt. Gabriel's jaw locked. Your father's death was necessary. Was it? Nadia's anger returned. Or was killing him easier than trusting him? Did you ever consider that he might have protected your secret? I couldn't take that risk. I know. Nadia's answer surprised him. You're an alpha. You make decisions for the whole pack. Sometimes you sacrifice one person to protect everyone else. She paused. I understand why you believe that, but understanding doesn't erase the cost. Gabriel looked away. Cody made a small sound. Gabriel immediately loosened his arms and soothed him. Then he asked, Why are you helping me? Nadia frowned. You should hate me. I do. Gabriel looked back at her. Part of me will always hate you for what happened to my father. Nadia took a breath. But I'm beginning to understand that none of this is as simple as I wanted it to be. She studied him. You are not only a monster, and I am not only your victim. Something dangerous entered Gabriel's eyes. You are a threat. Nadia stiffened. Not to my pack. His voice dropped. To me. What does that mean? Gabriel placed the pups down. They immediately ran toward Nadia. She lifted them both. You make me want things I cannot have. Gabriel looked at her, holding Cody and Rex. You make me question decisions I stopped questioning years ago. His jaw tightened. You make me wonder whether there's another way to protect my people without losing part of myself every time I issue an order. Nadia's pulse raced. Gabriel abruptly returned to his colder tone. You should go inside. What? Rogues test our borders. Standing in the open makes you vulnerable. The pups need fresh air. 1 hour. Stay close to the cabin. Gabriel removed a small phone from his pocket. My number is programmed into it. If anything happens, call. Nadia accepted it. Their fingers touched. A sudden electric sensation traveled through her hand and up her arm. Gabriel's eyes flashed. He had felt it too. What is happening between us? Nadia whispered. Gabriel stepped back. Nothing. His voice hardened. And nothing will. You're protected because of the pups. That is all. Is it? It must be. Gabriel looked away. I'm an alpha. You're human. There is no future where this makes sense. Why? Because humans are fragile. His answer came too sharply. You age, you break, you die. Gabriel's fists tightened. And I will not care for someone who can be taken from me that easily. Nadia finally understood. You're afraid. His eyes snapped toward her. You're terrified of losing people, so you avoid loving them. It has worked for 10 years. Has it? Nadia stepped forward. Because you look miserable. His expression darkened. You built walls high enough to protect yourself, Gabriel. Now you're trapped behind them. You know nothing about me. I know you risk your authority by visiting your nephews. Nadia continued before he could interrupt. I know you wrote instructions detailed enough to include their formula temperature. I know you blame yourself for Tyler's death. I know you're terrified you'll fail Cody and Rex too. She took another step. And I know you aren't as much of a monster as you pretend to be. Gabriel's chest rose sharply. That scares you. His eyes burned gold. For a moment, Nadia thought he might shift. Instead, he turned away. I'll return tomorrow. He walked toward the trees. Keep them safe. Then he vanished. Nadia stood holding the pups. Why was she challenging him? Why did she care whether Gabriel was anything more than her father's killer? Because he was. And that made everything far more dangerous. Rex licked her face. Nadia sighed. Your uncle is impossible. Cody yipped. Yes. Nadia murmured. Exactly. That night, howls awakened her. They echoed from deep within the mountains. Cody and Rex stirred. Nadia soothed them while listening. This was not a hunting call. It was mourning. The pack was grieving Tyler and Alfreda. Somewhere among those voices, Nadia knew Gabriel was howling too. She approached the window. Darkness filled the forest. Guards were somewhere beyond the cabin, unseen but present. For one brief moment, Nadia imagined belonging to a pack, having people who would defend one another without hesitation. Having somewhere to belong. Having Gabriel look at her without suspicion, without grief. Eventually the howling faded. Nadia returned to the pups. Tomorrow she would try to understand more about Gabriel's world. Tonight she would simply hold 2 orphaned children and pretend that she could protect them from everything gathering in the darkness. Chapter 5. The Alpha's Burden. Gabriel did not return the next day, or the day after. By the 6th day, Nadia caught herself staring constantly toward the tree line. Cody and Rex sensed her anxiety. They became even more attached, following her through the cabin and whining whenever she moved too far away. Supplies still arrived each morning. The same black wolf left food and medicine outside before disappearing. Nadia tried speaking to it once. The animal only watched her with amber eyes and walked away. Isolation began to close around her. Then, on the 7th day, Gabriel's phone buzzed. Nadia grabbed it immediately. One message waited. Pack meeting tonight. Stay inside. Lock every door. Do not leave, regardless of what you hear. G. Nadia reread it. Regardless of what you hear. Her stomach tightened. She spent the day preparing. She brought extra firewood inside. Filled containers with water. Checked every window and lock. The pups watched nervously. It's okay, she told them. Everything will be fine. Nadia did not believe herself. Darkness came. She sat on the couch with Cody and Rex, pretending to read one of her father's journals. Near midnight, the howling began. This time it sounded nothing like mourning. The calls were violent, angry. Growls and snarls echoed beneath them. Then Nadia heard bodies colliding somewhere beyond the trees. The pups pressed against her. A human voice suddenly carried through the forest with impossible clarity. Gabriel. I am your alpha. The command rolled through the darkness like thunder. I have led this pack for 10 years. I protected you, fed you, secured territory for you. And now you question my judgment? Another voice answered. You compromised us, Gabriel. Nadia froze. You placed shifter children in the care of a human, the daughter of the man we killed because he discovered us. They knew. The pack knew about Nadia. Nadia Gates is under my protection, Gabriel snarled. Anyone who harms her answers to me. And when she betrays us? The opposing voice grew louder. When she completes her father's work? When photographs and DNA evidence reach humans? She won't. How can you know? Because I gave her something more important than discovery. Gabriel's voice carried an edge Nadia had never heard before. Purpose. She is protecting Tyler's sons. Pack children. She understands what that means. She understands nothing. She is human. She will never be one of us. The voice sharpened. And protecting her dishonors Tyler. Growls erupted. Bodies collided again. Then Gabriel's command split the night. Stop. Everything ceased. I am Alpha. My word is law. His voice dropped dangerously. If anyone wishes to challenge that, come forward. Silence. That is what I thought. Gabriel continued. The pups remain with Nadia because they are safe. She protected them when we failed. She has shown more compassion in 1 week than some of you have shown in years. You're becoming soft, the other voice replied. The old Gabriel never would have allowed this. The old Gabriel made mistakes. Nadia held her breath. One of them was believing death was always the answer. Gabriel paused. James Gates studied us, but he also wanted to protect us. He believed we were worth preserving. Another silence. We killed a man who might have become our ally because we were too frightened to risk trusting him. His next words were quieter. I will not repeat that mistake. So you risk everyone for one human? I risk everyone for the right human. And Nadia Gates has earned that risk. Nadia's breath caught. She kept Tyler's sons safe. She asked for nothing. She has told no one about us despite having every reason to expose us. She will eventually. Enough, Rodolfo. Nadia went still. Rodolfo, Gabriel's beta. I trust you with my life, Gabriel said. But if you no longer trust my judgment, perhaps you shouldn't be my second. Silence spread through the forest. Finally, Rodolfo answered. I will not challenge you. His voice was bitter. But I will not support this. You are playing with fire, Gabriel. When it burns the pack, I will remind you that I warned you. Noted. Gabriel dismissed the meeting. Gradually, the sounds outside disappeared. Nadia remained on the couch holding the trembling pups. Then someone knocked. She jumped. It's me, Gabriel called. Open the door. Nadia placed the pups down and unlocked it. The moment she saw him, her breath caught. His shirt was torn. Blood covered his chest and arms. One eye was swollen. His knuckles were split. What happened? Pack discipline. He sounded exhausted. May I come in? Nadia stepped aside. Gabriel entered and collapsed onto the couch. Cody and Rex immediately climbed onto him, licking his face. I'm fine, little warriors. He stroked them. Uncle is fine. He clearly wasn't. Nadia retrieved the first aid supplies. I'll heal, Gabriel protested. Shifters heal quickly. Not quickly enough. She returned with bandages, antiseptic and cloth. Take off your shirt. Gabriel raised an eyebrow. Excuse me? Your shirt. Off. Nadia pointed. I need to see the wounds. Gabriel sighed and obeyed. Nadia stared. Scars covered his body. Old claw marks. Bites. Bullet wounds. Recent injuries. A lifetime of violence written across his skin. Jesus. Part of being alpha. Gabriel watched her. I enter the fight first and leave last. Those scars are every battle you won, most of them. And the battles you lost? Gabriel's eyes darkened. Those scars are inside. Nadia began cleaning him. Gabriel hissed when she touched a deep wound near his ribs. Sorry. Keep going. She worked carefully. You defended me tonight. I defended my decision. Is there a difference? Nadia looked at him. Rodolfo says you've changed. He says many things. Is he right? Gabriel considered the question. Maybe. He looked at the sleeping pups. Tyler was always the compassionate one. He believed in mercy, second chances, finding another solution. His voice softened. I was different. I made difficult decisions quickly. And now? Now I look at his sons and see him. Pain tightened Gabriel's face. I see the brother who believed I could become better than the monster our father raised me to be. His voice broke slightly. Tyler died believing I could be saved. How do I honor him if I continue making the same brutal choices? Nadia set down the cloth. You are not a monster. I have done monstrous things. That does not mean you cannot change. Gabriel caught her wrist. His grip was firm but gentle. Why? Nadia looked at him. Why do you insist on finding something good in me after knowing what I did? His thumb moved across her pulse. Because I see you with Cody and Rex. Nadia's voice softened. I see how hard you're trying to protect me even while it divides your pack. She hesitated. And because I think you're trapped too. Trapped? By grief, by responsibility, by everything everyone expects you to be. Nadia took a breath. Maybe we can help each other escape some of it. Gabriel's eyes turned gold. Nadia, I'm not asking you for anything. She moved closer. I'm telling you that here, inside this cabin, you don't need to be alpha every second. Her voice lowered. With me and the pups, you can simply be Gabriel. He looked at her as though she had offered him something impossible. Then he pulled her between his knees. You are dangerous. His voice was rough. You make me want things I promised myself I would never want. What things? Gabriel lifted one hand to her cheek. Things like this. He kissed her. Nadia had expected force. Instead, Gabriel was careful, almost hesitant. As though he genuinely feared hurting her. His lips moved gently against hers. Nadia rested her hands on his shoulders and kissed him back. Grief, anger, confusion, fear, and an emotion dangerously close to hope collided inside her. When they separated, Gabriel pressed his forehead against hers. This is a mistake. Probably. We can't do this. I know. I could get you killed. Maybe. A broken laugh escaped him. You're insane. So are you. Gabriel kissed her again. This time neither pretended it meant nothing. When they finally separated, Cody and Rex were awake. Both pups stared at them. Gabriel smiled. A real smile. We have witnesses. Nadia blushed. They won't tell anyone. Let's hope. Gabriel stood. I should leave. The pack will notice. Will they challenge you again? Probably. He pulled his ruined shirt back on. I'll handle it. At the door, Gabriel turned. Thank you. For what? The pups. He hesitated. Tonight. His eyes met hers. For seeing me. Nadia's throat tightened. Thank you for trusting me. Gabriel kissed her forehead. Lock the door after I leave. He stopped. And Nadia? Yes? If anyone from my pack comes here, anyone except me or the wolf delivering supplies, take Cody and Rex and run. Nadia's stomach dropped. What? Promise me. I promise. Gabriel disappeared into the forest. Nadia locked the cabin. Her heart still raced from the kiss. She returned to Cody and Rex and curled around them. Your uncle is going to be the death of me. Cody licked her hand. Outside, hidden in darkness, Gabriel watched the cabin. His wolf demanded that he return. Claim her. Protect her. Stay. But the pack was fractured. Rodolfo was watching for weakness. Gabriel turned toward the forest and shifted. He had enemies to hunt, a pack to control, and now, impossibly, a human woman to protect. Chapter 6. Blood at the Door. The 8th morning began with blood. Cody's frantic barking dragged Nadia from sleep. She rushed toward the window. A dead deer lay across the porch. Its throat had been torn open. Blood pooled over the wooden steps. 3 words had been carved deeply into the cabin door. Human, go home. Nadia grabbed Gabriel's phone. He answered immediately. What happened? There's a dead deer outside. Her voice shook. And someone carved a message into my door. Silence. What does it say? Human, go home. Gabriel's voice changed. Lock everything. Stay inside. I'm coming. Pure alpha command filled his tone. If someone reaches the cabin before I do, put the pups in the bathroom. Take the knife under your pillow. Nadia froze. How do you know? Aim for the heart or throat. Nothing else will stop a shifter fast enough. The call ended. Nadia gathered Cody and Rex and carried them into the bathroom. Then she retrieved her father's hunting knife. The blade was silver. James had insisted on silver knives, silver bullets, even silver buckles. Nadia once thought it was paranoia. Now she understood. Her father had known exactly what lived in these mountains. She returned to the window. Minutes passed. Then movement appeared between the trees. It wasn't Gabriel. A woman emerged. Tall, muscular, dark hair pulled into a severe braid. Amber eyes glowed in the morning light. She approached slowly. Nadia tightened her grip on the knife. The woman stopped near the porch and studied the bloody warning. Then she looked directly through the window. I can smell your fear, human. Her voice carried clearly. It smells almost sweet. Nadia remained silent. Her father's journal had warned never to display weakness before a predator. The woman smiled. revealing teeth slightly too sharp to be human. My name is Alyssa Cross. Tyler was my friend, my packmate. Her expression hardened. I want to know why his sons are sleeping inside a cabin owned by the daughter of the man who tried to destroy us. I never tried to destroy anyone. Nadia kept her voice steady. I found Cody and Rex injured. I saved them. How noble. Alyssa's smile turned mocking. Tell me something, Nadia Gates. When you found them, did you know what they were? Or did you think you had discovered rare animals you could document the way your father did? I knew they were babies who needed help. That's all. Alyssa's smile vanished. Liar. She stepped closer. You have tracked us for 2 years. Cameras, samples, research. You followed the same path as your father. That's not why I saved them. Gabriel believes you. Alyssa's eyes narrowed. But I know humans. For centuries I have watched your kind destroy everything you touch. Stay back. Nadia raised the silver knife. Alyssa laughed. You think that little weapon scares me? I've survived 300 years. Wars, plagues, hunters far more dangerous than you. Then she stopped. Her head turned sharply. He's here. A growl shook the clearing. Gabriel exploded from the trees in wolf form. He was enormous. Gray and black fur covered a body that easily weighed several hundred pounds. Golden eyes burned with fury. He positioned himself between Alyssa and the cabin. His snarl promised death. Alyssa immediately shifted. Her wolf was smaller and leaner. She lowered her head. Submission. Gabriel continued advancing. Nadia realized he intended to kill her. Gabriel, stop. She threw open the cabin door. Don't kill her. Gabriel whipped his head toward Nadia. His eyes were almost completely feral. She isn't worth it, Nadia said. She's angry. She's grieving Tyler. Alyssa shifted back into human form. You should let him kill me. Her voice broke. I don't know how to live in a world where Tyler is gone, and his children are being raised by a human. Gabriel shifted as well. Naked and furious, he stood over her. Get dressed. His voice was lethal. Then leave this property before I change my mind. Alyssa dressed quickly. Before departing, she looked toward Nadia. He was my best friend. The hostility in her face cracked. Tyler was the only person in this pack who ever made me feel like I mattered. Her throat tightened. And now he's gone, and you're here, and I don't know how to. She stopped. Nadia's anger softened. I'm sorry. Alyssa stared at her. I cannot bring Tyler back, but Cody and Rex are safe. Nadia's voice remained firm. I will not let anything happen to them. For several seconds, Alyssa said nothing. Then she nodded once and disappeared into the forest. Gabriel remained motionless. His entire body trembled with the effort of controlling his rage. Gabriel. Nadia lowered her voice. Come inside. He didn't move. Please. Finally, he looked at her. Pain and exhaustion replaced some of the fury. You should not have stopped me. She threatened you. She was grieving. She violated pack law. Gabriel's voice sharpened. She approached you without permission. The punishment is death. Then your law is barbaric. The words hung between them. Gabriel's eyes flashed. Be careful, Nadia. Why? She refused to retreat. Because I'm supposed to pretend killing someone for being angry and grieving is reasonable? You don't understand our world. No, maybe I don't. Nadia pointed toward the cabin. But Cody and Rex are not going to grow up believing death solves every disagreement. Gabriel stared at her. Then he turned toward the forest. Where are you going? To deal with my pack. Alyssa won't be the last person to test this boundary. His voice became cold. I'll make it clear that anyone who comes near this cabin dies. No exceptions. Gabriel. He spun toward her. I cannot become what you want me to be, Nadia. For the first time, she saw the crushing weight behind his anger. I cannot afford softness. The moment this pack believes I'm weak, they will tear me apart and replace me with someone worse. His eyes burned. and whoever replaces me will kill you without hesitation. So you become a monster to protect me from monsters? If necessary. And when everyone who disagrees with you is dead, Nadia's voice shook. What kind of pack will remain? Gabriel said nothing. Is that the pack Tyler wanted Cody and Rex to inherit? Gabriel flinched. Tyler believed in you. Nadia softened her voice. You are so determined to control everyone through fear that you refuse to consider another kind of strength. There is no other kind. But doubt weakened the words. Yes, there is. Nadia descended the porch. You can lead without cruelty. You can show strength without terror. Mercy is not weakness, Gabriel. She stopped before him. Sometimes mercy is much harder than killing. And if I fail? His expression finally broke. If they revolt? If I'm challenged? Then you will know you tried to become the alpha Tyler believed you could be. Gabriel closed his eyes. When he opened them, the gold had faded. I don't know how. His voice was quieter than Nadia had ever heard it. I don't know how to lead any other way. Then learn. Nadia reached out. She took his hand. Learn with your nephews. Learn with your pack. She looked into his eyes. Learn with me. Gabriel stared at their joined hands. Why do you still believe I'm worth saving? Because somebody has to. Nadia smiled sadly. And maybe I see what Tyler saw. Gabriel pulled her into his arms. He held her tightly. Then Nadia realized he was trembling. I'm tired. His voice disappeared into her hair. So tired of fighting, killing, being alone. Then stop doing it alone. Nadia held him. Let people help before you destroy yourself. They remained together for a long moment. Finally, Gabriel pulled away. I have to address the pack. He hesitated. And you're coming with me. Nadia stared. What? They need to meet you. Gabriel, they want me dead. They will not touch you while I stand beside you. His expression hardened. They need to understand you are protected because I choose to trust you, not because you are my prisoner. That is insane. Probably. A small smile appeared. But you told me to try another way. Gabriel extended his hand. So I'm trying. Nadia looked back at Cody and Rex watching through the window. Then she looked at Gabriel. Fine. She put her hand into his. But if your pack kills me, I'm haunting you forever. Gabriel laughed. Deal. Together, they walked into the forest. Toward the pack. Toward whatever came next. Chapter 7. Before the pack. The pack gathered in a clearing deep inside their territory. Ancient trees surrounded the area. As Gabriel led Nadia closer, she felt unseen eyes following every step. He never released her hand. They won't attack you, he said. Not beside me. And when you aren't beside me? That is what tonight settles. Gabriel glanced at her. You need to stop being viewed as prey. How? You become pack adjacent. Nadia stared at him. Pack adjacent is not a real thing. It is now. They entered the clearing. Nadia stopped. At least 40 wolves surrounded them. Some were human. Others remained in wolf form. Every glowing eye turned toward her. Rodolfo waited at the center. Alyssa stood nearby with her head lowered. Dozens of unfamiliar faces filled the clearing. Gabriel brought Nadia into the middle. He raised one hand. Conversation stopped instantly. I called you here because there has been confusion. His voice carried across the clearing. Confusion over my decisions. Confusion over the human inside our territory. Confusion over whether I remain capable of leading. Several wolves shifted uneasily. So I will make this clear. Gabriel's posture changed. I am your alpha. I led this pack through war, famine, and human expansion. He scanned the crowd. I have kept you hidden, kept you safe, kept you alive. His eyes hardened. And I will continue. Alyssa stepped forward. Then why is she standing in our sacred territory? Her voice trembled. Why is the daughter of our enemy here? Because she saved Tyler's sons. Gabriel answered immediately. When Tyler died and I failed to protect his children, Nadia found them alone and wounded. He looked across his pack. She did not abandon them. She did not contact human authorities. She treated them. Rodolfo stepped forward. What does she gain? His gaze moved to Nadia. Humans rarely act without wanting something. I want nothing. Nadia spoke before Gabriel could stop her. Rodolfo laughed harshly. Your father spent years documenting us. Photographs, samples, tracking our movements. His expression hardened. When he came too close, we killed him. Now you follow his path, and we're supposed to believe you have no plan? My father wanted to protect you. Murmurs moved across the pack. He collected evidence, yes, but he never published it. Nadia looked around. Ask yourselves why. No one answered. He loved these mountains. He knew exposing you would bring hunters, scientists, and tourists. Her voice strengthened. So he kept your secret. Nadia looked directly at Rodolfo. And you killed him anyway. He was a threat. He was an ally. Her answer cut through the clearing. You were simply too afraid to recognize it. Several pack members exchanged uncertain looks. Gabriel squeezed Nadia's hand in warning. She continued. I'm not asking to join your pack. She looked around at the faces surrounding her. I'm asking you to let me care for Cody and Rex until they are strong enough to return. Her throat tightened. I want to honor my father by protecting what he died trying to preserve. She paused. When that is over, I will leave. Alyssa stepped forward. And you expect us to trust that? No. Nadia looked at her. But I understand grief. Alyssa stiffened. I know what it is to lose someone and become angry at everything left behind. Nadia softened her voice. You loved Tyler. Killing me will not bring him back. Silence. And it will not make his sons safer. Nadia scanned the pack. If all you know is violence, then my father was right to fear what would eventually happen to you. The clearing became completely quiet. An elderly woman stepped forward. Her hair was silver white. Age lined her face, but power surrounded her. I am Anne Figueroa. Her voice carried naturally. Elder of this pack. I have served 5 alphas, including Gabriel. She turned toward him. You have led us well. Gabriel's face became unreadable. But you have led through fear and absolute control. His eyes narrowed. Are you challenging me? No. Anne gave a sad smile. I'm asking you to remember Tyler. She turned toward Nadia. This human stood before 40 predators and told truths none of us wanted to hear. Anne nodded slowly. That requires courage. Then she faced Gabriel. If you trust Nadia Gates, I support your decision. A young red-haired man stepped from the crowd. I'm Freddie Garza. His voice cracked. Tyler was my best friend. He looked at Nadia. And Tyler would have given her a chance. More wolves began stepping forward. Not everyone, but enough. Gabriel was no longer standing alone. Rodolfo remained where he was. 10 or 12 younger wolves stayed beside him. This is a mistake, Rodolfo said. Tyler's death made you soft, Gabriel. Gabriel's eyes burned. Say it again. Rodolfo lifted his chin. Soft, soft. The clearing tensed. The Gabriel who protected us for 10 years never would have allowed a human this deep into our world. Gabriel looked at him. You're right. Shock rippled through the pack. I have changed. Gabriel's voice remained steady. Tyler's death taught me the limits of leading only through fear. Then he looked toward Nadia. There are things worth more than absolute control. Rodolfo's expression hardened. Then you leave me no alternative. He stepped into the center of the clearing. I formally challenge your leadership. Gasps erupted. I invoke Alpha Challenge. Nadia's blood ran cold. Gabriel smiled. Finally, his voice was almost amused. I was wondering when you would find the courage. Gabriel? Nadia grabbed his arm. What does that mean? Pack law. Gabriel never looked away from Rodolfo. If a beta believes the alpha is unfit, he can challenge. What kind of challenge? Combat until death or submission. Nadia stared at him. Gabriel smiled at Rodolfo. I accept. Gabriel, no. This has been coming for years. He gently removed Nadia's hand. Rodolfo has challenged every decision since Tyler died. We end it now. By killing one another? By establishing dominance. Gabriel finally looked at her. If I win, my authority becomes absolute. And if you lose? His eyes softened. You take Cody and Rex and run. Nadia shook her head. I'm not leaving you. If I fall, you will have no choice. Gabriel cupped her face. Rodolfo will kill you and the pups. Nadia's breath caught. He will erase Tyler's bloodline and rule through fear. Then don't lose. Gabriel kissed her forehead. I don't intend to. He entered the center of the clearing. Anne moved beside Nadia. No matter what happens, do not interfere. This is madness. It is pack law. Anne's voice was grim. If you interfere, Gabriel is disqualified and executed. Gabriel shifted. Bones transformed. Muscle expanded. Seconds later, the enormous gray-black wolf stood in the clearing. Rodolfo shifted too. His wolf was slightly smaller but leaner and faster. They charged. The collision shook the ground. Teeth flashed. Claws tore flesh. Blood scattered across the earth. Nadia could barely follow the movement. Rodolfo attacked Gabriel's throat. Gabriel twisted and caught Rodolfo's shoulder between his jaws. Bone cracked. Rodolfo tore himself loose. The fight became savage. No pause. No mercy. Rodolfo moved faster. He opened wounds across Gabriel's ribs and face. But Gabriel possessed greater strength. Every injury Rodolfo inflicted was answered with something worse. Then Gabriel fainted. Rodolfo followed. Gabriel spun. His jaws closed around Rodolfo's throat. Nadia stopped breathing. Rodolfo clawed Gabriel's sides. Gabriel held him. Slowly, Rodolfo stopped fighting. His body went limp in submission. Gabriel kept his jaws around the beta's throat long enough to make the victory undeniable. Then he released him. Rodolfo collapsed. Both shifted back into human form. Gabriel stood above him, bleeding. Submit. The command vibrated through the clearing. Rodolfo gasped. I submit. His head lowered. You are Alpha. Your word is law. Gabriel stared at him. Then he extended one hand. Rodolfo looked up in disbelief. Take it. What? You challenged because you believed you were protecting this pack. Gabriel kept his hand extended. You fought honorably. His expression softened slightly. Now get up, heal your wounds, and remain my beta. Rodolfo stared. Why? Because I need someone willing to tell me when I'm wrong. Tears filled Rodolfo's eyes. He accepted Gabriel's hand. Gabriel pulled him upright. Then the Alpha faced his pack. Anyone else? No one moved. Does anyone else believe I'm unfit to lead? Silence. Then hear my command. Gabriel's voice filled the clearing. Nadia Gates remains under my protection. She will care for Tyler's sons until they are ready to return. He scanned every face. When that day comes, her service will be answered with gratitude. His expression hardened. Not death. Not exile. No one challenged him. Then Gabriel looked at Nadia. Something changed in his eyes. She is mine. Nadia froze. And I am hers. Gabriel's voice became absolute. That is the bond I choose and the future I claim. Anne inhaled sharply. Gabriel. He never looked away from Nadia. Does anyone deny me this? Nadia could barely process the words. Mine. Hers. Bond. He was claiming something far greater than responsibility for her safety. Anne stared at him. Do you understand what you've just declared? Perfectly. Gabriel's golden eyes burned. Nadia Gates is my chosen mate. And anyone who harms her dies. The clearing erupted. Chapter 8, marked by the moon. Voices surrounded Nadia. Mate. Chosen. Mine. She could barely hear anything else. Some wolves shouted support. Others protested. Gabriel stood bloodied in the middle of them, staring only at her. Anne tightened her hand on Nadia's shoulder. You must respond. Nadia looked at her. What? If you reject his claim publicly, his authority will be damaged. What am I supposed to do? Walk to him. Anne nodded toward Gabriel. Stand beside him. Nadia's legs felt heavy. Every logical thought told her to run. She was human. Gabriel was an alpha shifter. He had ordered her father's death. Yet he had also defended her, trusted her, fought his own beta for the right to protect her, and looked at her as though she mattered. Nadia stepped forward. The wolves opened a path. She walked through the pack with her chin raised. Gabriel waited, covered in wounds. You didn't have to do this, she whispered. Yes. He touched her face. I did. His thumb moved over her cheek. I'm tired of pretending what I feel is temporary. Nadia's pulse accelerated. I'm tired of telling myself I can walk away when this ends. His voice roughened. You got beneath my skin, into my thoughts. He stopped. Into your heart? Nadia whispered. Gabriel grimaced. I was avoiding that word. Because it makes you weak? Yes. It makes you human. I'm not human. No. Nadia covered his hand with hers. But you're not only a monster either. His eyes brightened. You're complicated. She swallowed. Terrifying. A small smile touched his mouth. And impossible to walk away from. Are you accepting me? Nadia hesitated. I still don't understand what that means. It means you are mine. Gabriel's voice lowered. I protect you, provide for you, defend you. His eyes turned gold. My wolf recognizes you. He paused. And I am choosing you over every rule I was taught about humans. Why me? Because you see me, Gabriel answered without hesitation. Not the alpha, not the killer, not the monster. His expression softened. You see the man beneath all of it. Nadia's eyes burned with tears. The man who is exhausted from being alone. The man who wants to become better than his father. Gabriel looked at her. The man who looks at you and believes maybe there is still something good left for him. This is insane. Completely. Your pack may never accept me. Some won't. Gabriel shrugged. Enough will. And the others? They adapt or leave. You would exile your people because of me? Gabriel's expression turned frighteningly calm. I would do far worse. Nadia believed him. She should have been terrified. Instead, something inside her finally felt wanted. Not compared with Sophie. Not tolerated by Carol. Not treated as a disappointment. Wanted as Nadia. Okay. Gabriel went still. Okay? I accept. Her voice strengthened. I'm yours. She looked directly into his eyes. And you're mine. Relief transformed his face. Nadia continued. Whatever this costs, I'm choosing it. She swallowed. I'm choosing you. Gabriel pulled her against him. Thank you. The pack erupted again. Rodolfo stepped forward. His wounds still bled, but his expression was controlled. As Beta, I acknowledge Alpha Gabriel Houston's claim upon Nadia Gates. He looked toward the pack. She remains under Alpha protection. Anyone who harms her answers to Gabriel. Rodolfo paused. And to me. Several wolves bowed their heads. Others turned away. Anne approached. You have changed pack history tonight. Gabriel wrapped an arm around Nadia. Taking a human mate breaks centuries of tradition. Then perhaps we need different traditions. Anne smiled. Tyler would be proud. Gabriel's grip tightened around Nadia. I hope so. Alyssa approached last. I still don't like this. Nadia almost smiled at the honesty. I still believe it's dangerous. Alyssa took a breath. But Tyler would want his sons raised by someone who loves them. She looked at Nadia. You kept them safe when we couldn't. Her voice lowered. I don't trust you yet. Alyssa nodded. But I respect you. Thank you. It wasn't friendship, but it was something. The pack gradually dispersed. Anne eventually turned toward Nadia. You should return to the cabin. The formal claiming ceremony needs to happen soon. Nadia blinked. Claiming ceremony? Gabriel winced. I'll explain. Anne looked far too amused. It involves blood, marking, ritual binding. Gabriel growled. Anne. What? She deserves preparation. Nadia stared between them. What exactly have I agreed to? Gabriel took her hand. One step at a time. He shifted into wolf form and lowered himself. Nadia stared. You want me to ride on your back? Laughter moved through the remaining wolves. Even Rodolfo smiled. It is faster. Gabriel's voice suddenly sounded inside Nadia's mind. She jumped. And yes, I can speak into your mind while shifted. You will get used to it. Nadia climbed carefully onto his back. Gabriel launched forward. She nearly screamed. He was impossibly fast. Trees blurred around them. Wind tore through Nadia's hair. Then, despite everything that had happened, laughter rose from her chest. For the first time in years, she felt completely free. They reached the cabin within minutes. Gabriel shifted back and caught Nadia as she slid down. You're smiling. That was... Nadia searched for the word. Amazing. Wait until I teach you to hunt. I'm human. I noticed. Gabriel's mouth twitched. You won't hunt exactly like us, but I can teach you how to move quietly through these mountains. His eyes gleamed. Fast, silent, dangerous when necessary. They entered the cabin. Cody and Rex immediately launched themselves at Gabriel. He caught both. Did you miss me, little warriors? They enthusiastically licked his face. Nadia watched. This was family. Not Carol's cold approval, not Sophie's polished perfection. This, messy, unusual, real. Gabriel placed the pups down. I need to clean these wounds. I'll help. Nadia, you let me help your nephews. She pointed toward the bathroom. Let me help you. Gabriel followed. Nadia turned on the shower. When she faced him again, Gabriel was staring intensely. What? I'm trying to understand how I became this lucky. His voice softened. I spent 10 years alone. Now I have this. He looked past her toward the pups. And you fought for it. Nadia touched his chest carefully. You risked everything. It was worth it. Gabriel tilted her chin upward. You are worth it. He kissed her. Slow, deep, full of things neither was ready to name. When they separated, Gabriel rested his forehead against hers. The claiming ceremony will hurt. Nadia's smile faded. The mark is intense. He searched her face. Are you certain? No, she answered honestly. But I'm choosing it anyway. Gabriel smiled. Then we face it together. As Nadia helped wash the blood from his wounds, she traced scars accumulated over decades of violence. She began to understand that love inside Gabriel's world was not gentle. It demanded blood, sacrifice, choice. And Nadia was making that choice. Outside, Rodolfo watched the cabin from the darkness. His wounds were healing painfully. Gabriel had defeated him, claimed a human, changed the hierarchy of their world. Rodolfo could not decide whether his alpha was brilliant or suicidal. He turned back toward pack territory. There was much to prepare. A claiming ceremony, new rules, a new balance of power. Whatever happened next, the pack would never be the same. Inside, Nadia and Gabriel fell asleep on the couch with Cody and Rex nestled between them. For once, Gabriel's face looked peaceful. The endless vigilance disappeared. Nadia watched him in the firelight. For the first time in her life, she understood what it meant to belong somewhere. Tomorrow would bring rituals, pack politics, and consequences. Tonight, there were only 4 heartbeats gathered around one small couch. Chapter 9. Brothers in Blood. 3 days passed in an uneasy peace. Gabriel spent each night at the cabin. He taught Nadia about shifter culture, pack hierarchy, and the claiming ceremony awaiting them. During daylight, he returned to pack territory to maintain order. Cody's wound healed completely. Both pups became stronger every day. They began trying to stand on their hind legs. Their sounds sometimes resembled words. Their intelligence was becoming increasingly human. They'll probably shift for the first time within a month, Gabriel explained one evening. They'll be frightened. The transformation hurts at first. He watched them wrestle near the fireplace. They'll need both of us. Both? Nadia looked at him. You're staying, even after they can return to the pack? Where else would I be? You have an entire pack to lead. I can lead and have a family. Gabriel took her hand. After the ceremony, everything becomes shared. Everything? Territory, responsibility, life. Nadia swallowed. Your pack too? Especially the pack. Gabriel's eyes reflected the flames. You'll become Luna. Nadia stared. Second only to me. Her mouth opened. Anything you say will carry authority. That is completely insane. I don't know how to lead wolves. You understand compassion. Gabriel squeezed her fingers. Mercy. Seeing us as something more than predators. His expression softened. That is what Tyler believed we needed. Nadia looked down. What happens if I make a mistake? Then we face the consequences together. Gabriel's answer was simple. I trust you. A howl suddenly ripped through the night. Gabriel stood instantly. That's the perimeter warning. Nadia positioned herself between the door and the pups. Rogues? I don't know. Gabriel shifted. Lock everything. His massive wolf turned toward her. Do not open the door for anyone except me. Then he disappeared. Nadia carried Cody and Rex into the bathroom. She took her knife and Gabriel's phone. Outside, more howls erupted. Then snarling. Fighting. The phone buzzed. An unknown number. Tell Gabriel his brother sends his regards. Nelson. Nadia froze. Brother? Another message arrived. The pups belong with their real family, not a human pretending to be their mother. Then, we're coming for them. Nadia immediately messaged Gabriel. Someone named Nelson is threatening us. He says he's your brother. Gabriel answered almost instantly. Leave. Take the pups. Run now. Another message. Nelson is Tyler's twin. I exiled him 5 years ago after he tried to overthrow me. If he returned, he came to finish what he started. Nadia didn't hesitate. She picked up Cody and Rex and hurried through the main room. She opened the rear door. A man stood directly outside. Nadia stopped. He looked almost identical to the photographs of Tyler. Dark hair, same face, same build, but his eyes were colder. Hello, Nadia. His smile held no warmth. I've heard quite a lot about you. Nadia backed away. Stay away. I'm not here to hurt you. Nelson Parsons stepped inside. I'm here for my nephews. They are under Gabriel's protection. Gabriel got my twin killed. Venom entered Nelson's voice. He didn't kill Tyler himself. His orders did. He approached. His pride did. His refusal to retreat when the rogues attacked did. Nelson's eyes brightened. So I'm going to take everything Gabriel loves. His gaze moved toward the pups. First them, then Nadia, then you. His smile returned. Then his pack. You're insane. I'm justified. Nelson's expression hardened. Gabriel exiled me because I challenged his leadership. I warned everyone he was becoming a tyrant. He stepped closer. Then Tyler died. Alfreda died. The pack lost its heart. Nadia knew she could neither outrun nor overpower him. She needed time. If you loved Tyler, you should want what is best for his sons. They need stability. Stability? Nelson laughed. You mean a human playing house with Gabriel? That isn't stability. He shook his head. It's a fantasy. Fantasies end in blood. Then why haven't you killed me? Nelson paused. If I'm such a danger, kill me and take the pups. Something flickered across his face. Because Tyler would have liked you. Nadia frowned. He never met me. He knew about you. Nelson's expression tightened. He read your father's research, followed what you were doing. His voice grew bitter. Tyler used to say someone like you might bridge our worlds. Someone who saw us as more than monsters. Nadia stared. He was wrong. Nelson's golden eyes hardened again. Humans see us as threats or opportunities. That isn't true. Your father documented us. Governments hunt us. Humans destroy our territory, and then act shocked when we fight back. He pointed toward Nadia. And now you expect me to believe you're different? I don't care whether you believe me. Nadia held Cody and Rex tighter. I know what I did. I found 2 children who needed help. She stared at him. I didn't sell them, study them, exploit them. Her voice strengthened. I protected them. Nelson watched her. I would die for them if necessary. For the first time, Nelson looked genuinely surprised. You mean that? Yes. Why? Because someone needs to. Nadia looked down at the pups. They lost their parents. Her throat tightened. They deserve to grow up loved. She lifted her gaze again. And because Tyler believed people could be better than their worst instincts, something in Nelson broke. Tyler was an idiot. His voice became rough. He believed in redemption and goodness. His eyes filled with grief. And it got him killed. No. Nadia shook her head. It made him someone worth remembering. Nelson's fists tightened. I miss him. The words came barely above a whisper. Every day. His voice fractured. And I cannot forgive Gabriel for failing to save him. Then don't forgive Gabriel. Nadia replied softly. But stop punishing Cody and Rex for your grief. Nelson looked at the pups. They did nothing. No one is innocent. But the anger had left his voice. A growl came from behind him. Gabriel stood at the edge of the clearing. Blood covered his massive wolf form. His eyes burned with fury. He stepped between Nadia and Nelson. Nelson immediately shifted. His wolf looked almost identical to Tyler's. Silver gray. Same build. Same features. Gabriel and Nelson circled one another. Years of resentment hung between them. Gabriel attacked. Nelson met him. They collided violently. This fight was nothing like the battle with Rodolfo. It was not about dominance. It was grief. Hatred. 2 brothers trying to destroy one another because neither knew what else to do with the pain. Stop. Nadia screamed. Neither listened. Gabriel, Nelson. They continued fighting. Then Nadia made the only choice she could think of. She stepped between them. Both saw her. Both tried to stop. Neither could. Nelson's claws ripped across Nadia's shoulder. Pain exploded through her. Gabriel's jaws snapped shut inches from her throat. Both brothers shifted immediately. Nadia. Gabriel reached for her. She stumbled backward. Blood covered her hand. Enough. Her voice came weakly. Tyler would hate this. Both men stared. He would not want his brothers killing one another because of guilt. Nadia swayed. He would want you protecting his sons. Her knees weakened. Together. Nelson stared at the blood on his claws. I didn't mean... I know. Nadia fought to remain conscious. But this is what happens when rage takes control. She looked between them. Innocent people get hurt. Gabriel caught her. You reckless, impossible woman. His voice shook. You could have died. But I didn't. Darkness began creeping across Nadia's vision. Now talk. She forced the words out. Like brothers. Her last clear thought was Cody and Rex crying in her arms. Then everything disappeared. Chapter 10. Rise of the Luna. Nadia woke to an argument. This is your fault. My fault? You attacked first. I wouldn't have come here if you had protected Tyler. Enough. Anne's voice cut through them. You're both behaving like children. Tyler would be ashamed. Nadia slowly opened her eyes. She was lying on the couch. Pain throbbed through her shoulder. The wound had been bandaged carefully. Gabriel sat beside her. Dark circles surrounded his eyes. Nelson stood near the window. Anne moved between them. She's awake. Gabriel immediately took Nadia's hand. How do you feel? Like a werewolf clawed me. Nadia's throat felt dry. Gabriel looked devastated. I'm sorry. If I had been faster. Stop. Nadia squeezed his fingers. Where are Cody and Rex? With Freddie and Alyssa, Anne answered. They're frightened but safe. Nadia relaxed. Nelson approached cautiously. I owe you an apology. His voice was quiet. I came here wanting revenge. He looked at Gabriel. I wanted to take everything he cared about. Then he looked at Nadia. I didn't expect you to actually care. Why wouldn't I? Because humans never cared about us before. Nelson's jaw tightened. Every encounter I ever had with your kind ended with betrayal or violence. His voice dropped. And I couldn't understand why a human would risk her life for children who weren't hers. He looked toward Gabriel. Or for a monster like him. He isn't a monster. Nadia spoke firmly despite the pain. And neither are you. Nelson looked at her. You're broken. She paused. Grieving. Her voice softened. Human in all the ways that matter. Nelson's expression changed. Tyler used to say that. He stared toward the floor. He said our humanity made us strong, not our wolves. He was right. Nelson looked at Gabriel. She stepped between us. I know. Gabriel's voice was hoarse. She could have died. Nelson turned back toward Nadia. Why would you do that? Because Cody and Rex were watching. Both men froze. They were in my arms. Nadia swallowed. They were watching their uncles trying to kill each other. She closed her eyes briefly. I could not let them grow up believing that is what family means. Nelson's face drained. They saw us? Yes. He sank into a chair. What have I become? Gabriel rose. For a long moment he looked at his brother. Then he placed one hand on Nelson's shoulder. You've become someone who needs to come home. Nelson stared up. Someone who needs his pack. Gabriel's voice softened. His family. A pause. His brother. You exiled me. I was wrong. The admission clearly hurt Gabriel. I exiled you because you questioned me. He took a breath. But you were right about some things. Nelson stared. I had become too rigid, too controlling. Gabriel's voice broke. And Tyler paid for it. I blamed you. Nelson's eyes filled. For 5 years. For everything. I blamed myself too. Gabriel swallowed. I still do. Anne stepped forward. Then both of you need to stop. They looked at her. I was there when Tyler and Alfreda fought the rogues. Anne's voice carried quiet authority. They knew the danger. They chose to defend their pack. She looked at Gabriel. That was not your failure. Then Nelson. It was their sacrifice. Her expression hardened. Destroying one another dishonors them. Silence. Finally Nelson stood. He extended his hand. I want to come home. His voice shook. If you'll allow it. Gabriel stared at the hand. Then he ignored it and pulled Nelson into an embrace. You're my brother. You will always have a home with me. Nelson broke. His shoulders shook. Gabriel cried too. Nadia watched through tears. This was what Tyler had believed in. Not dominance. Not bloodshed. The possibility that broken people could choose something else. Anne knelt beside Nadia. You did something extraordinary. Nadia gave a weak smile. Or extraordinarily stupid. Sometimes the difference is difficult to identify. The door suddenly opened. Freddie rushed in carrying both pups. They would not stop crying. He looked bewildered. They keep calling for Mama. Cody whimpered. Want Mama? Everyone froze. Nadia stared. Did he just... He's shifting. Anne breathed. That's too early. Cody's wolf form began changing. Within seconds, a chubby toddler with dark hair and golden eyes sat where the pup had been. Tears covered his face. Mama hurt. He reached for Nadia. Mama hurt. Rex began changing too. Moments later, two small boys were crying and reaching toward her. Gabriel lifted them. Careful. His voice softened. Mama is hurt. He carried them toward Nadia. Both climbed onto the couch. Cody took Nadia's hand. Rex curled against her uninjured side. Mama safe? Cody whispered. Nadia's heart seemed to break and rebuild at once. Mama is safe. She kissed his hair. I'm right here. Nelson stared. They call you Mama. I know. Tyler's sons think you're their mother. Nadia looked down at them. I know. Nelson's eyes filled again. He would have loved this. His voice roughened, knowing someone would fight for his boys. He looked at Gabriel. You chose well. Gabriel touched Nadia's neck. She chose me. His eyes remained on her. I am the one trying to become worthy of that choice. You are. Nadia held his gaze. You are. Anne cleared her throat. The claiming ceremony still needs to happen. Nadia groaned. Can it happen after I can stand without fainting? 3 days. Anne examined the bandage. Shifter saliva should accelerate your recovery. Nadia wrinkled her nose. Shifter saliva? Gabriel smiled. I'll try to make that part pleasant. That does not reassure me. It wasn't supposed to. The following 3 days changed the cabin. For the first time, it felt like a true home. Nelson formally requested reinstatement into the pack. Gabriel approved immediately. He restored his brother as third in hierarchy beneath Rodolfo. Some pack members welcomed Nelson's return. Others remained suspicious. To make the transition easier, Gabriel and Nelson agreed on a more convenient version of events. The pack was told Nelson had helped save Nadia during a rogue incident. Resistance gradually faded. Instead of the exiled brother who had threatened the future Luna, Nelson became the uncle who had helped protect her. Nadia concentrated on healing. She also learned what it meant to care for 2 toddler shifters. Cody and Rex could only remain human for a few hours before exhaustion forced them back into wolf form. Every day, however, they lasted slightly longer. Cody was serious and curious. Rex was mischievous and constantly creating trouble. Nadia loved both with a fierceness that surprised her. They were no longer simply Tyler's children. They were her boys. Her family. Whenever Gabriel could escape pack responsibilities, he came to the cabin. He prepared Nadia for life as Luna. You will mediate disputes. Nadia stared at him. You will offer counsel. When I'm absent, you represent my authority. That sounds horrifying. It occasionally is. Gabriel smiled. You will not be alone. Anne will guide you. And Rodolfo? He supports you. Gabriel laughed. He says anyone willing to step between 2 fighting alphas deserves either respect or psychiatric treatment. Nadia smiled. Possibly both. She leaned against Gabriel. Are you really certain about making me Luna? His smile disappeared. I'm human. I will always be physically weaker than everyone around me. You are the strongest person I know. Nadia looked at him. No, you cannot match a shifter's speed. Gabriel continued. You cannot overpower one physically. He touched her face. But strength is also standing your ground when instinct tells you to flee. His eyes softened. It is choosing compassion when violence is easier. Nadia remained silent. You are not this pack's weakness. Gabriel's voice became firm. You are becoming its heart. He looked toward the sleeping boys. Tyler always said that was what we lacked. Nadia's eyes stung. And if I fail, then you fail beside me. Gabriel smiled. We learn. We continue. He cupped her face. I need someone willing to challenge my worst instincts. His thumb brushed her cheek. I need you because you are human, Nadia. Nadia kissed him. When they separated, Gabriel pressed his forehead against hers. 3 days. His voice lowered. Then you're mine forever. No takebacks? No takebacks. Nadia smiled. Agreed. The claiming ceremony took place beneath a full moon. The same clearing that had hosted violence now looked almost beautiful. More than 50 pack members gathered in human form. Torches burned around them. Anne had helped Nadia dress in a simple white gown with uncovered shoulders. The mark needs to remain visible. Nadia stared at herself. I may faint. Probably. Anne smiled cheerfully. But Gabriel will catch you. Now Nadia stood beside him at the edge of the gathering. 50 pairs of eyes watched. Some supportive. Some curious. Some still hostile. Gabriel squeezed her hand. Ready? No. Good. A faint smile appeared. It means you understand the seriousness of what you're doing. They entered together. Anne waited on a raised stone at the center. We gather beneath the full moon to witness a bonding. Her voice carried through the clearing. Gabriel Houston, Alpha of the Mountain Pack, has chosen Nadia Gates as his mate. Anne looked toward Nadia. As his Luna. Then at Gabriel. As his equal and partner. Murmurs spread through the gathering. This bond breaks tradition. Anne did not flinch. No alpha of this pack has ever taken a human mate. She lifted her chin. But traditions exist to serve us. Her voice strengthened. We do not exist to serve traditions. The clearing quieted. Sometimes survival requires new traditions. Anne turned toward Gabriel. Gabriel Houston, do you claim Nadia Gates as your mate before this pack? I do. Do you swear to protect her, provide for her, respect her choices, and share your authority with her as Luna? Gabriel's answer came without hesitation. I swear it on my life and the lives of my ancestors. Anne faced Nadia. Do you, Nadia Gates, accept Gabriel Houston as your mate? Nadia's heart pounded. Do you accept responsibility for this pack, their welfare and their survival for the remainder of your life? I accept. Anne raised her hands. Then let the marking begin. Gabriel pulled Nadia close. This will hurt. I know. I'll be quick. I trust you. His eyes turned gold. His transformation stopped halfway. Canines lengthened. His face became more feral. Gabriel lowered his mouth to the place where Nadia's neck met her shoulder. Then he bit. Pain tore through her. Nadia gasped. Her knees weakened. The sensation went deeper than flesh. Something primal moved through the bond. Gabriel held her steady. He did not release until the marking was complete. When he pulled away, blood stained his mouth. Nadia looked at the fresh bite. The marks seemed almost luminous. It's done. Gabriel licked the wound gently. A tingling sensation replaced some of the pain. Anne lifted both arms. The bond is sealed. Nadia Gates is now Nadia Houston. The elder's voice rang through the clearing. Luna of the Mountain Pack. Howls erupted. What one speaks, both speak. What one commands, both command. To harm one is to harm both. Gabriel pulled Nadia close. How do you feel? Like someone branded me. You were marked. Exactly. Gabriel's eyes softened. But now you are officially mine. Nadia lifted an eyebrow. And you are mine. Forever. Forever. The celebration began. Pack members approached one after another. Some congratulated her. Some pledged loyalty. Others simply studied the human Luna with caution. Nelson arrived carrying Cody and Rex, both in human form and dressed in tiny formal clothes. They demanded Mama. He placed them down. The boys immediately ran to Nadia. Mama pretty, Rex announced. Mama ours, Cody added. Laughter spread through the pack. Nadia picked them up. Yes. She kissed them. I'm yours. Gabriel wrapped his arms around Nadia and both boys. Thank you. His voice was soft against her hair. For choosing us. Nadia looked at him. Thank you for seeing me. For all of me. Always. Around them, wolves danced, talked, and howled. For the first time, Nadia understood what her father had truly been searching for. Not monsters. Something extraordinary. A world hidden beside humanity. A world that was dangerous and brutal, but also capable of loyalty, sacrifice, and love. Anne approached with wine. Welcome home, Luna. Nadia accepted the goblet. Then she raised it. To Tyler. The clearing quieted. To the man who believed we could become better than our worst instincts. Gabriel lowered his head. To Tyler, the pack answered. Their voices rose beneath the moon. And in the distant wind, Nadia thought she heard a wolf answer. Tyler's legacy remained. His sons were safe. His brothers were together. And the pack had rediscovered something it nearly lost. Its heart. Epilogue. 1 year later, the cabin no longer looked small. Additional rooms had been built. Cody and Rex had their own bedroom filled with toys, drawings, and the chaos expected from 4-year-old shifter twins. Nadia stood on the porch one morning while Gabriel taught the boys how to track through the forest. Cody followed every instruction with intense concentration. Rex became distracted by butterflies. They're growing too quickly. Anne appeared beside Nadia carrying tea. Much too quickly. Nadia smiled sadly. Soon they won't need me. Children always need their mothers. Anne handed her a cup. Only the way they need you changes. Nadia's hand drifted unconsciously to her stomach. A new life was growing there. She had not told Gabriel yet. She was waiting for the right moment. Anne noticed immediately. Of course she did. He will be thrilled. Nadia looked at her. Or terrified. She lowered her voice. A human shifter child? We don't even know whether that's possible. Anne smiled. You are surrounded by proof that impossible things happen. She looked toward the forest. Trust your mate. Then Nadia. And trust yourself. Gabriel emerged from between the trees with Cody and Rex. All three were laughing. The moment Gabriel saw Nadia, his face changed. Even after a year, the joy in his eyes could still take her breath away. Mama! Both boys raced toward her. They began talking at once about a rabbit trail, a bird nest, and everything Gabriel had shown them. Gabriel followed. He stopped in front of Nadia. You're glowing. Nadia answered before she could think. Pregnancy hormones. Silence. Gabriel froze. What? Nadia bit her lip. Surprise. Gabriel crossed the space between them in 3 strides. His hands moved carefully over her still flat stomach. You're pregnant? His voice broke. We're having a baby? Nadia smiled. We're having a baby. Gabriel's eyes flashed gold. Then he kissed her. Cody and Rex immediately began making disgusted noises. Neither Nadia nor Gabriel cared. When they finally separated, Gabriel rested his forehead against hers. Thank you. His voice was barely above a whisper. For everything. He touched her stomach. For giving me a family I never believed I would have. Nadia smiled. Thank you for finding me. For choosing me when walking away would have been easier. Never. Gabriel's answer was immediate. I will never walk away from you. His hand found hers. From them. He looked at the boys. From us. Behind them, members of the pack were gathering for their evening meal. It was one of Nadia's new traditions. Everyone ate together beneath the open sky. Nelson helped arrange the tables. Rodolfo tended the fire. Alyssa attempted to control several young wolves already becoming too wild. Anne watched everyone with quiet satisfaction. Nadia looked across it all. The family she had built. The pack that once surrounded her cabin prepared to kill. The two pups they had found sleeping on her chest. The alpha whose first decision had been whether she deserved to survive. And the impossible life that had grown from that night. Gabriel lifted Nadia from the ground and spun her around. She laughed. Cody and Rex cheered. The pack answered with howls. Nadia wrapped her arms around Gabriel. In the end, the greatest magic in their world had never been shifting, supernatural strength or golden eyes. It was the choice to love when hatred would have been easier. The choice to forgive when violence was expected. The choice to become a family. And this time, Nadia knew exactly where she belonged.